Last weekend in the NFL, the favorites for the first time this entire season actually had a winning record against the odds makers, going 8-5-1 against the spread. That's the good news. Of course, the bad news is that favorites on the season, well, guys, how about 34-52-4 versus the spread? A hell of a lot of games under 500. Two things happen when those dogs keep barking. These sports books in Vegas making a hell of a lot of money. You generally losing your shirt. As I always say, basic human nature. Everybody tends to gravitate towards the favorites. Not just gamblers, handicappers as well. Now that doesn't mean that even when the dogs are barking, you can't find the chalk that's going to make your money, but you just have to be selective. Hey everyone, Al DeMarco here. This is going to be your Sunday video report before we get going here with your free picks and breaking down the NFL. Quick recap of Saturday's action. Yesterday, cashed in with 2 out of 3, 5-dime winner on Hawaii. I told you the Rainbows would get the job done easily on the road against an overmatched Utah State team, and that's exactly what they did. Also, a 5-dime winner on TCU. I mentioned in my analysis that the Horned Frogs would turn up the heat defensively, and they did. Easy 35-7 win at home against Air Force. You realize TCU, their last 4 games, they've given up a total of 10 points in those 4 games. The final play. I came so close to a 3-0 sweep yesterday. I gave you a 2-team teaser. Northern Illinois, no problem. Destroyed Central Michigan. In the teaser, they only had to win by 4. I think they won by 28 points. The other half of the teaser, Iowa. Pick 'em at home against Wisconsin in the teaser adjusted price. Did you watch the end of the game yesterday? The Iowa defense, what Iowa defense? What was it, like a 14-play drive that included a fake punt for Wisconsin as they moved right down the field? The poor clock management then at the end when Iowa had one last chance to at least move into field goal position, which of course down by 1 at the time because they missed an extra point on their first TD early in the game, would have given us the teaser winner and would have given them the straight-up win as well. Poor clock management, poor timeout management as well. Hey, what can I say? Can't win them all. Would have been nice to win them all, but anytime you walk away from the cashier's window with money, it's a winning day. 11-4 football run, college and pro over the past 2 weeks. The college run won 5 of the last 7 Saturdays, 5 of the last 7 weeks overall. So hey, as I said, can't really complain about it. By the way, if you happen to watch that Iowa-Wisconsin game, they had, as with any game, any sport, the riveting crowd shots there toward the end of the game. Did you notice they went 3 times to that one girl? First she's like biting her fingers, and then she's practically crying, then she's in tears. What did they announce? The cure for cancer didn't work? Get a life. You're a college kid. I don't care. Come on. Drink some beer, go to the game. You see some of these guys, they're ready to look like they're ready to break down and cry. I had money on the game. If anyone wants to cry, it's us, guys. But I don't know. Makes for good drama on TV. Back to the NFL. Not only do the favorites overall this season, 18 games under 500. Home favorites, 12 games under 500. Road favorites, 7 games under 500. Do you notice a trend here, guys? The only consistent thing that you can bank on, if that crystal ball's working, straight up winners. They continue to make you money. You can pick the straight up winners of games last year, preseason through the Super Bowl, 82% covers. So far this year, even better, after 95% in preseason play. So far this year, through 6 weeks of action, the straight up winners are 73-13-3 versus the odds makers, a whopping 60 games over 500. Today, I've got another one of my bread and butter plays. Guys, 99% of my selections are rated between 5 and 15 dimes, and today, a 15-dime play I've got going. It's my Road Warrior Game of the Year, a road team that's playing on the 1 o'clock card. I love them in this game. It is my best bet on today's card, these 15-dime plays. Last Sunday, it was a winner on the Pittsburgh Steelers, 28-10 at home against Cleveland. These 15-dime releases over the past 3 years combined in the NFL, my record is 27-10-2. So essentially 27 out of 37 in the bank. That is going today. It's at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. I also have a trio of 5-dime plays as well. All 4 selections looking to duplicate last Sunday's 4-0 sweep, available right now. Again, 15-dime plays, 27 out of 37 in the bank over the past 3 years. Now, let's get to your free picks for today. First game I want to talk about is going to be your contest between Atlanta and Cincinnati. Falcons really surprised me last week. I only used them as a free play, but they surprised me by total lack of interest. I mean, when they played at Philadelphia, it was like they weren't even involved mentally in the game. Maybe it was because it was their third road game in 4 weeks, but I mean, they just had nothing. Didn't show me anything. I expect that to change today back home at the Georgia Dome, where they play fast, they play loose, they put points on the board. I expect to see them getting the ball going on the ground again with Michael Turner, who was held in check for like 60-some yards last week by Philadelphia against a Cincinnati team that is unable to stop the run, that is unable to put any pressure on opposing quarterbacks. So I'm looking for Matt Ryan to have a big game as well. You know, I said early in the year, Cincinnati Bengals are a fraud, and I stand by that. I'm totally convinced about that. You know, this is a team that had success last year when they gave the ball consistently to Cedric Benson. This year, of course, they went out and got T.O. Suddenly they're a passing attack, a passing-oriented team. It's just not working for them. So I'm going to go with the Falcons in this particular spot. Back at home once more, 8-0-1 against the spread. The last 9 times have been a home favorite of 6 points or less. 13-1-1 ATS off their last 15 straight-up losses. That shows you the resiliency there. By the way, the Bengals have failed to win or cover their last 4 games coming off a bye. So again, I'm going to go with the the Atlanta Falcons in that contest, going with the Falcons. Your next free play, I'm going to go and take a look at your game between Baltimore and the Buffalo Bills. Of course, the Ravens blowing a 10-point fourth-quarter lead at New England last week, eventually losing in overtime by 3, but have to go with Baltimore here to bounce back at home, where they are 11-4 ATS as a home favorite. Under John Harbaugh's direction, they have also covered 7 of their last 9 as a double-digit favorite, and of course they deserve to be a double-digit chalk today against a Bills team that has to be the worst in the NFL coming off a bye. Does it really matter? Only thing we want to do is say bye-bye to Chan Gailey, bye-bye to the Bills. Bills 0-5, 1-4 ATS off so far this season. Interesting also, kind of an interesting stat, they are 6-16-1 ATS of late against 3-4 defenses, which speaks volumes about their inability to maintain the line and protection up front, and also to drive block against a 3-4 defense as well. They just are not getting the job done offensively, so we will go with them as well. You know, a couple other games on the board here, New England and San Diego. I'd be tentatively leaning toward taking the Chargers in this contest, but problem is they have so many injuries. I'm not really convinced that the Patriots are that good. Not going to touch that game. You know, last year, Green Bay and Minnesota, I was right on the money with both of my picks in that series, as I had the Vikings in both contests. Interesting game tonight. Minnesota did not play that well last week at home against Dallas. It was really Dallas turning the ball over and giving the Vikings the victory in that one, 24-21. And yet, even grabbing 3 points or buying up to 3.5, not convinced that the Vikings-Packers game is one that I would even venture a free selection. Lean a little toward Minnesota. The problem is this is a must win for the Green Bay Packers. The problem with that, of course, is the Packers. Aaron Rodgers getting no pass protection, sacked 5 times in a 23-20 overtime loss last week to the Miami Dolphins. No ground game since Ryan Grant went out with that season-ending injury early in the year. Vikings, not that good, have not been putting the pressure on opposing quarterbacks like they have in the past. And remember, last year the key to the Vikings' 2 wins against Green Bay was the fact that they sacked Aaron Rodgers 15 times. So just wanted to preview that game quickly for you. No real opinion on it. Again, the free picks today are going to go with the Atlanta Braves, the Atlanta Falcons, and also going to lay the wood with the Baltimore Ravens. Good luck, everybody, and I'll catch you again on Monday.